Good morning, children. Hope you all had a great time. And I'm pretty sure you all would have understood the science chapter Solar System and the Earth that I had taught in the last session. And we will be continuing with the remaining subtopics of the same chapter. In the last video, we had learnt about space, stars and constellations. Today, we will learn in detail about solar system, planets and satellites. Now children, here you see a picture of the solar system which consists of the sun, the planets, asteroids and comets. And all these bodies orbit or travel around the sun. Now we will be learning about our solar system in detail. What is the solar system and what is it made up of? Our solar system is made up of the sun, a handful of planets, satellites, comets, and millions of rocky asteroids. What are planets? Planets are the heavenly bodies that move around the sun in a definite path. And this definite path in which the planets move around the sun is called the orbit. Each planet moves in a particular orbit and thus they do not collide with each other. Each planet rotates on its own axis like a top. Planets do not have their own heat and light. There are 8 planets in our solar system and we will be learning about each of them. To start with the first planet from the sun, we'll be learning about Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet and the nearest to the sun. And when you talk about the size, it is just slightly larger than Earth's moon. As I told you, Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. But in spite of it being the closest planet to the sun, it is not the hottest planet in our solar system. Mercury is a rocky planet and is also known as the terrestrial planet. Mercury has no moons and there is no evidence of life on Mercury due to its extreme temperatures. Now moving to the second planet, we'll be learning about Venus. Yes, Venus is sometimes called as the Earth's twin because of more or less the same size and they are made up of the same materials. And Venus is the hottest planet because of its thick and dense atmosphere. Venus has no moons. Now moving to the third planet from the sun, it is our home planet, the Earth. Earth is the 5th largest planet in the solar system and it is a rocky planet. Most of it is covered in water. Earth is our home planet and is a perfect place for life. Earth's atmosphere is made up of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 1% with other ingredients, and all these together are responsible for the perfect balance to breathe and live by the living organisms. Earth has no rings, but Earth has one moon. Now moving to the 4th planet from the sun, the Mars. And what is the other name for Mars? Mars is known as the red planet And why is it so called? It's so called because it is covered with red dust, soil, and rocks. And Mars is named after the Roman god of war. Mars has two moons named Phobos and Deimos. The planets nearer to the Sun, that is Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are called the rocky planets. Now moving to the fifth planet, the Jupiter. Yes, Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, and it is more than twice as massive as all other planets combined together. And this planet too is named after a Greek god. Jupiter is a gas giant, and Jupiter's atmosphere is made up mostly of gases like hydrogen and helium. That is why it got the name as a gas giant. Jupiter has more than 75 moons, and it has a great red spot. Here you see the Jupiter's great red spot. It is the gigantic storm that's about 2 times the size of the Earth, and it has raged for over a century, meaning over 100 years. Now moving to the sixth planet from the Sun, Saturn. It is also called the jewel of our solar system. Saturn is the sixth planet and the second largest planet in our solar system. Saturn has 53 known moons, and there are some moons, about 29 moons, waiting for confirmation of their discovery. And Saturn is very famous for its glorious rings. It has the most spectacular ring system with 7 rings and several gaps and divisions between them. Now moving to the seventh planet, the Uranus. Uranus is an icy giant, and why is it so called? Because most of its mass is a hot, dense fluid of icy materials like water, methane, and ammonia. Uranus is about 4 times wider than Earth. If we compare Earth with an apple, Uranus would be the size of a basketball. And let's see how many moons Uranus has. Uranus has 27 known moons. Now moving to the 8th planet from the Sun, Neptune. Neptune is an icy giant like the Uranus, and it is more or less as large as Uranus. But yeah, Neptune has 14 known moons. And with this, we come to the end of the planets, and now we'll be moving to the next topic, satellites. Here is a picture showing Earth and its natural satellite, the Moon, which moves around Earth. Now, what is a satellite? Satellite is an object in space that orbits or circles around a bigger object. And satellites are of 2 kinds. Natural satellites such as the Moon orbiting the Earth, or artificial satellites which are made by man. And Jupiter, for example, has at least 75 natural satellites. That means it has 75 moons. And with this, we come to the end of today's session. And before closing down the session, I would like to have a quick recap of all that was taught today. In the beginning, we have learned about solar system. It is the sun, the planets and satellites together make the solar system. And then we learned that the heavenly bodies move in a definite path called the orbit. And then we learned about the 8 planets. The first one being the Mercury, which is the nearest planet to the sun, followed by Venus, the hottest planet, and then Earth, which is our home planet and it supports life, followed by Mars, which is also known as the red planet, and the 5th planet, Jupiter, which is the biggest planet. And then we have Saturn, a spectacular planet with beautiful rings around it, which is followed by Uranus, the 7th planet from the sun, and it is a huge icy giant. And in the last, we have the farthest planet, the Neptune. And then we had learnt about satellites, and satellites are the heavenly bodies that circle around bigger objects. And here are the key words that we have learnt in today's video. Children, please go through these words carefully and learn the spellings also. The first one is planets, satellites, orbit, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And with this, we come to the end of this session, children. And before I conclude this session, I would just like to tell you all some instructions. Please go through this video carefully and try to understand all that was taught today. Once you are done with understanding, for further assistance, you can take the help of the video link that I'll be providing. And once you're done with all this, please try to finish the worksheet which is being sent along with. And thank you, children. Stay home, keep safe, and have a good time till our next session.